Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing today? Well, I got up and I went to my training session this morning. Well, I got up, I let the dogs out. It is so nasty and so rainy. I just have to show you this, okay? It's so depressing that we can't even, like, let me just show you my cushions outside. I don't know if you can see it, but they're like, it's so soaking wet outside that I can't even enjoy the day. It's another rainy day in Indianapolis in the summer. But I went to training, had a great training session. She worked my butt off, and then I went and got a coffee. And now I'm sitting here, and I went to the post office on the way home, so I want to show you guys some things I got. First of all, I have no idea who sent me this fan, but this is from, this is the one fan that I've ordered before. This is from Daft Brothers, I think. You ready? Whoosh! I'm like, I have so many fans now. I have to go to the container store later because I want to get like a tall container to put all my fans over there because I was keeping them in the drawer. Now I'm keeping them in the garage. And Sarah and her boyfriend, let me just tell you, okay, so nice, Sarah. She sent me a really nice letter for my birthday. But then, to help me with my diet, she sent me chocolate peanut butter Oreos, Oreo Thins, latte, and s'mores, Chips Ahoy. Thank you so much, Sarah. And then she sent me 3 fans, and these are from Dirt Squirrel, which is where I usually order my fans from. This one says woof, like the Woof Pack. And then she sent me Daddy. And then she sent me You're Canceled. So I have more fans. I'm living for them. Thank you so much, Sarah, and to your boyfriend. Whose name, she sent me a whole letter, whose name you did not include, but thank you so much. Okay, then I want to show you, hold on a second, the next thing I received is all open and ready. Hold on just a second. I have looked through it at the post office. Okay, so this is from Michelle, who sent me a very nice birthday card. Right here. Oh my God, so funny. Okay, and then she sent me a Coca-Cola lip balm. And then and then a Coca-Cola cherry lip balm. And then a Dr. Pepper lip balm, which y'all know is my favorite, see? Okay, so thank you so much, Michelle. That was so sweet. It feels kind of weird that it's my birthday week, I just have to say. Let me put this away in here. Where is the card? Okay, and then I got a birthday card. Very nice birthday card from Carolyn. Thank you, Carolyn. I'm gonna save all my birthday cards right over here. And then I got a really nice letter. Well, I don't know if she cares that but anyway, from a viewer that is deaf, and I think she also emailed me, about asking if I can make my videos closed caption for the hearing impaired. And I've actually looked into that. There's a real easy way to do it on YouTube. She said something about how they charge you $1 per minute. And she actually gave me a $10 off code. So I'm going to look into that. I just want you to know I am looking into that. I can't promise anything, but I'm going to ask some friends of mine that are also YouTubers what they do, if they have theirs closed caption and how they do it. So thank you so much for the $10 off for that. And I'll see what I can do. I'm going to try to get on that. And like I said, I can't promise anything, but I'm going to do the best I can. And then Elle Leary, from Elle Leary Artistry, if I remember, I will link her channel below. I've linked her channel. One time I linked her channel below, and then I forgot to take it off, and it was underneath there for like a month and a half. So, she texted me, and she was like, I'm sending you some stuff for your birthday. And she's so fantastic to me. Okay, first of all, she sent me this Drunk Elephant lip balm, which I just used in the car. This might be my new favorite lip balm because I kind of like the container. Oh, I kind of like the container. Now, if this was in Dr. Pepper flavor, it would be my absolute favorite. So, but I like the little container, and it will fit my pocket and things like that in my fanny pack. And then she sent me this Focus Spot Dr. Jart Line and Wrinkle Micro Tip Patch. So I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try this week. And then she was the one that got me started on the Tatcha products. and she knows how much I love them. She sent me, I was actually just looking at this at Sephora. These were some very, very nice gifts I received from everybody today, so thank you so much. She sent me the Luminous Dewy Skin Mist, which I actually almost purchased when I was there. And then she sent me the Gold Spun Lip Balm. Now, if you've never seen this before, she actually was the one that sent it to me originally. Hold on. Oh, I have it in my fanny pack. It's like one of my favorite lip balms, and I still have the original one that Lil L sent me. Here's the one that she originally sent me. And I've been using this consistently. I mean, look, I still have so much of it left, and I've been using it consistently for a long time. She sent me another one. Look at this, how fantastic this is. It comes in this little box. Hell, you are so nice to me. Not only that, but let me just tell you that in talking to her on the phone, she's just so fantastic, and she's one of the nicest people in the world. And then she sent me the Tatcha Plumping Skin Softener, and I've never tried this, so I'm excited about this. So yeah, I'm gonna have a whole new skin regimen I'm gonna try tonight. Ooh, look at that. I like that. It like kind of changes colors as you shake it up. So I'm gonna try that tonight. That will be my little routine tonight before I go to bed. So I'm excited about that. So thank you, everybody. It really means a lot to me. You don't feel the need to send me something, but I appreciate the fact that you do. And I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm excited. So anyway, I'm going to go and I'm actually going to do a face mask right now and read some meditations. And then I'm going to film some videos. And then I have like a sobriety commitment early this evening. And then Alex will be home, and then I don't know what we're doing. So it's just kind of lazy Monday, sitting around the house. I'm actually listening to a new book, Recursion by Blake Crouch, who wrote, what was the other book called that he wrote? Oh, shoot, Dark Matter, that I loved. It was one of my favorite books like 2 or 3 years ago. So he has a new book out called Recursion, which is about memory. And if you've been affected by somebody with Alzheimer's, it kind of deals with that, but it's science fiction. It's very interesting. And the book is on Audible is like 10 hours and 47 minutes long, which is really strange because the Killer Clown book was 14 hours and 47 minutes long. So on my thing in my car, it keeps on saying 47 minutes. But anyway, I'm already like 20+ percent, I think right at 20% done with the book. So I'm going to finish that book within the next couple days. It is really, really good. So anyway, that's my Monday so far. And I said I was going to try to start filming throughout the day a little bit. And I will get back to you guys in a little while. Hope you guys are having a good day. Bye. Okay, I'm back. It's many moons later. It's 5:04 a.m. And I just got up about a half an hour, 40 minutes ago. I know you guys were hoping I would sleep through the night, but it didn't happen. I just have such a hard time sleeping through the entire night. And then I wake up like early like this, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, and then I have a hard time going back to sleep, and then it just screws with my whole day. I need to get on a set schedule. I was going to vlog throughout the day, and that didn't happen, but what have I done? Well, anyway, we went to bed early last night. Alex even said, he goes, now don't sleep through the night. So you have to get up and he was so sweet. He was like, don't sleep through the night. So you have to get up and do your vlog. He was like, you should go do it right now. And I was like, I know. And I was like laying on my stomach. And I had one leg out and I was covered by and Boo Radley was right next to me and I was covered by the blankets and the fan was on me. I said, but I'm so comfy right now, I just don't want to move. I said, I'm not going to sleep through the night. Next thing I know, I wake up and it's like 4 something. So I went downstairs and I got some water and then I came out and I've been listening to a little bit of my audiobook. So I am listening to Recursion by Blake Crouch. I don't even want to tell you guys what it is about. It is so good. I am already, in one day, I am 3 hours and 15 minutes into it. So I'm already a third of the way through because it's only 10 hours and 47 minutes. It is so good. A couple years ago, like 2 or 3 years ago, I think I said this earlier, I read his book Dark Matter, which, incidentally, Mel, I just noticed on her Bookstagram, she, so Mel, you know, my book club co-host, she did this library adult reading contest, and she finished it. She completed it. So I think she won a book, and she won Blake Crouch's Dark Matter. And I meant to call her today, and I just completely forgot, because I was going to be like, you need to start that book ASAP. It is so good. But, you know, often I'm let down because, like, I'll read a book by somebody, and then I'm so excited for their next one to come out that when it does, if it falls short of the one before, I'm, like, real disappointed. And, like, for example, Sylvain Neuvel, he wrote a trilogy. It started with Sleeping Giants, and it was about aliens. And I loved the first one. The first one was fantastic. The second one was horrible. And I have the third one on Audible, and I've had it for like 6 months, and I haven't read it. I think partly because I'm just like, I don't want to be disappointed. But these are standalones that Blake Crouch wrote, and he also wrote the TV show Wayward Pines. That was with Matt Dillon. And real kind of spooky, strange science fiction stories. But let me tell you not to scare you off, because I don't really understand a lot of science fiction. And when I say science fiction, what I really mean is that they're books about science that, but like really weird concepts. Like Dark Matter is about multiple dimensions of somebody's life. So he applies like this really crazy scientific idea to like a simple story. And this one, Recursion, is the same way. And it is so good. And I'm like, I mean, I seriously could just sit on my front porch or drive around and just listen to the whole thing in one day. It is that good. And I'm loving it. So if you're looking for a new book, I would definitely suggest Recursion by Blake Crouch. It just came out. And when I looked on Goodreads, it had a 4.34 overall book rating, which is really high for a book on Goodreads. Usually they're like under 4, unless it's somebody really, really famous. So I'm super excited that when I get into a book that I just like cannot stop listening to or can't stop reading, I get real excited by that. So yeah, the next couple days I want to do some serious reading too. It's just, I'm so tired of this rain. Alex and I were talking about it earlier. We're like, it is not, he said something about like, since April something, we haven't gone 2 days without any rain in Indianapolis. And then I was talking to Tanya last night on the phone about it. And she said, since she's been home from Florida, she was like, it has just been every other day it's been raining. This is how long I slept. I laid down at like 10. I think Alex went to bed at 10 and I went to sleep with him. And she was wanting to go to Meijer to get a hardback book because she wants to go to the pool tomorrow. It's supposed to be nice, I guess. And I said, well, if I wake up by midnight, then I'll call you and we can go to Meijer. And she said, okay. And I didn't wake up by midnight. And I know the last couple of vlogs, well, I keep on saying they're going to be shorter. Yesterday's was 40-some minutes, and the day before that was like 52 minutes or something like that. Today's is going to be shorter just because I want to listen to a little bit of this book, and I'm going to go back home and go to sleep for a couple more hours. Alex has to be up early. He has a doctor's appointment at like 7 before he goes to work. A chiropractor appointment for his back. He's like, we were talking about that yesterday. He's like, I think the best money I've ever spent in my entire life was going to the chiropractor. He loves to go to the chiropractor now. But if you've watched my vlog for over a year, then you'll know that like Alex had some really severe back pain. And it's like much better now. Like much, much better. I was really worried for a while. I mean, I thought he was going to end up having to have back surgery or something. But his chiropractor gave him a bunch of exercises to do. He went and saw a back doctor. And, yeah, he's doing so much better now. So anyway, that was my evening. After I talked to you last, I filmed a couple videos, and then I had this like sobriety commitment thing this early evening, and I wanted to film videos on all my channels, and I had pre-filmed this booktube video. I didn't even pre-film it like on purpose. I was gonna post it the night before. I had gone to Books A Million, but it was so late by the time that I got home and got it up. I was just like, I'll do this. I'll post it on Monday. So I posted that today. I posted my vlog, and then I posted 2 videos on my Monn channel because there was like some different drama going on. And I was going to just post 1 video over there and then post my Peterisms video and a review video, but I ran out of time. And so now, you know, I ran late a lot for things, and like if I had to be somewhere, like let's say at 4, and I knew I had 15 minutes to get there, and it was like 1:15, I'd be like, oh, I still have time to film like a video or 2 and I'll get it up later, and then I would be running late. Now I'm like, okay, I'd rather be there on time. So, yeah, like that's why sometimes I just don't get the things done that I want to get done in time. But I just didn't have enough time today. I will say this. I am sore tonight from my workout earlier. She really worked me out. And I can feel it like in my, not my calves, my thighs. And I can feel it like in my chest, like right through here. I'm sore. But it was a good workout. I wonder if it really is going to be sunny tomorrow. It looks so still outside today. There's like even like the trees and the bushes, like nothing is moving. It's like so still outside. I love summer and like getting a great book to read and getting excited about it. You know, staying up late and reading, or going to the pool and reading. Alex and I were talking last night because, you know, June 21st is the summer equinox, and it's the longest day of the year. And we were talking about how each day is going to get shorter now until December 21st. And we were talking about how, like, in Indiana, you really notice the changes. And by, like, you know, September, October, it's starting to get dark really, really early. And it's interesting because I can see the sun coming up, like, in the distance over there. Like, I can't see the sun, but I can see that it's lighter over there. And it's just crazy, you know? It's really pretty out, though. This time of morning is actually beautiful. We can still see the stars and the moon, but then it's like the sun is like just a little bit coming up. Maybe I'll pull in over here by where Connor Prairie is, and I'll show you guys. Indiana summertime really is beautiful. I cleaned out part of the bathroom today. We have this thing. I'm trying to like clean out something every day. We have this thing in our bathroom that's probably like, I don't know, like this wide and this long. We keep like all of our hair care products in there. We have so many hair care products. And like shaving cream. We pretty exclusively use those artist shaving creams now. I don't have any other shaving cream, like that's what I use. I ordered a bunch of it and it lasts forever. But I only have to shave like down here, here, and like up in here. I just trim my beard elsewhere. So those are like exclusively what we use, but I like cleaned that whole thing out. I got rid of some products that we don't use anymore that are dated. Cleaned off the bathroom counter. Got all of my fans together. gonna clean this cabinet underneath, like, where I keep, like, my books and my fans, because it's, like, dishes that, like, were, like, collector's dishes of my mom, and I'm gonna go through there. I'm gonna see if Caroline wants some of them. I mean, I literally have not opened that cabinet, I don't think. Like, it's got my mom's dishes in there, and I have them to, like, one side, and then the other side I have, like, some stuff that, I don't even know why I have it there, but I have a coffee can of pennies that I used to keep. I'm gonna turn in here and show you guys. If you can, I don't know if you can see it from there, because there's like light right here. This is Conner Prairie Settlement. Yeah, you're probably not gonna be able to see it here because of. Let me show you. I don't know if you can see it or not. Can you see? Isn't that so pretty? Look at that. That's the Conner Prairie Settlement. It goes way back in there. The small things we take for granted in life. Like the sun coming up. My mom, when I was like growing up, I think it probably had a lot to do with her drinking, but when I was growing up, she slept in. So like many days she would get, I didn't know this until later, obviously, because she told me later, but well, when I was younger, so my dad called every day. I've talked about this on here many times before, but my dad called like every day from the time that he left until I graduated from high school to make sure that I was up for school and ready to go to school. Like when you walked into her bedroom, she had this little round table. I can see it sitting there. It's so weird. I'd kind of forgotten it was right there. It had this like flower tablecloth on it with glass over it. Anyway. She had this yellow phone on it, and the phone would ring, and I would go and answer it and be my dad, and he'd be like, just making sure you're up for school, buddy. I'd be like, I'm up, Dad. And he'd be like, okay, have a good day. Every day. Every day, my dad called me, even when he was on vacation. And I can remember a lot of days getting up and going to school without my mom being up. Like, she just wouldn't get up. But then there were a lot of days that she got up and, you know, made sure that I had breakfast and stuff. I feel like more like junior high was when she didn't get up. And I think that's probably, like, later junior high was when she didn't get up. And I feel like that's probably when the drinking was really bad for her. I mean, it, like, started there, and then through my high school years, her drinking was horrible. But I just don't remember her, like, getting up, like when I was getting ready to go to school and stuff like that. But when I was younger, I do. And she would tell me that she, like later she told me that she would get up with me, but then she would go back to sleep when I left. And she would sleep till like 11. You know what's so weird is that I know so many moms today that do that. Like I have so many friends of mine that I'm like, what do you do when you get up with your kids, you know, to get them on the bus to go to school or to take them to school? And they're like, oh, well, like, I mean, I get up, I get breakfast for them, get them ready for school, and then once they're gone, I, like, go back to sleep. I'm like, seriously? And they're like, oh, yeah. Like, I go right back to sleep. Do any of you moms out there do that would like to admit to it? I don't know why that kind of cracks me up a little bit. You know, I didn't really understand, like when I was growing up, you know, we would say, like, you know, taking care of a house and all that kind of stuff is a job of its own, which it is. And don't ever let anybody tell you that it's not. You know, I think being even the words that we used back in the day, like a homemaker or house, you know, maker or whatever, not housemaker, but homemaker, you know, or stay-at-home mom or whatever, those words, I feel like, have a negative connotation today. When I have to say that my mom, for much of my life, was a stay-at-home mom. A decision that she and my dad made together. And I'm happy that she was, you know. Later, when she had to work, I mean, I understood that. And I would come home from school and she wouldn't be there. And she used to always say to me, like, when I like, in my 20s, she used this term, latchkey kid. And she'd be like, I hated that you were, like, a latchkey kid, which basically, I guess, means that, like, somebody will correct me on this, I know, in the comment section below, but to my mom, what it meant was that, like, you come home and, like, you just come home by yourself and your parents aren't there or something like that. I don't know. But she used to use that term. I don't even know what it is. I don't even know if it's offensive, so I don't know, but, she would always say that to me, and I would be like, I don't care, Mom, that I have to come home, because I didn't, you know. I'd come home and, you know, I'd be there with her. I'd be there by myself for like 2 hours before, I think it was a movie or something, maybe the name, I don't know, but I would come home and I would be by myself for like 2 hours, you know, and that started in like 6th grade. My mom worked a lot, and, but when I was younger than that, I was glad that my mom was a stay-at-home mom. It really meant a lot to me, you know, that, like, and especially in retrospect, looking back, that I would come home from school and my mom would be there, you know. And on the days that I went home with my dad, like on Wednesdays or on Fridays or whatever, he would pick me up, or my stepmom would pick me up from school. So, like, I went straight from school to my dad's. Like, we would swing by the house and I would pick up my stuff, but my bag would already be packed and by the door, so I would literally, like, walk in the door, grab it, and go. But I remember that really bothered my mom a lot when she had to work later. You know, and I think that in our society, moms that raise their kids, like, you know, or dads that raise their kids, we have a lot of stay-at-home dads now too, you know, that, or, you know, whatever. We have actually quite a few friends of ours that the husbands stay at home and the wives work. And I think it's one of the most important careers that we don't consider a career in our society. And, like, I've said this on here a lot before, you know, but, like, I remember talking to women this one woman in particular, she's telling me that, like, her kids had, like, her last son had graduated from high school, and she was looking at the calendar, and it was coming up on August, and it was like a city calendar, and, you know, that you would get, like, from your township or whatever, and it said school starts, and she looked at it, and she was thinking to herself, school will never start for me again. And that was when she realized that, like, her job of raising her kids was over, and she, like, it kind of came and went, and she never even had any kind of, like, acknowledgement of it, you know, that, like, her last son graduated, went to college. She knew, she had this feeling inside that it was over, but she never really kind of acknowledged it to herself. There was no, like, you know, there was no party where you get a gold pen. There was no retirement party, whatever. But in all essence, it literally is retirement. Your job is done. You've raised your kids. And the thing is that I've had that conversation with so many people. Like, I've talked on here before. Like, I remember when Tanya looked at me and said, you know, I raised my kid, you know, like, I just had that conversation with a friend of mine the other day that was like, my kid is raised, like, and I did a pretty good job too, you know, like, I know Caroline kind of went through some of that this year, you know, with David graduating, and she worked, Caroline's worked, but she was home a lot because her job allows her to be at home a lot. I don't know, I just think it's like one of the most underrated professions that we ever talk about is, like, being a parent, you know? And I didn't really realize, I mean, obviously, like, having an apartment and stuff like that, but I think as I got older, like, you know, cleaning, housekeeping, doing all the bills, all the finances, you know, all that kind of stuff. Like, I didn't really realize, like, what a job that was, that you just, like, are expected to do until you do it, right? And that I literally, like, could spend hours doing that stuff a day. And, But at the same time, it's kind of stuff that I enjoy doing, you know? Like, I really do enjoy doing all that stuff. I don't know, but isn't it funny, like, as a kid, you expect that stuff just to be kind of taken care of and done, you know? My dad always had, like, when I was growing up, my dad had housekeepers, but my mom never did. And our house, like, my mom's house was pretty spotless when I was growing up. And even, like, when she was working, I mean, my mom, she either taught in school systems. My mother had her master's degree in education, and she worked in school systems with kids with severe learning disabilities. So she worked with, like, kids that were severely autistic. She either did that or she worked retail. She hated working retail. She hated it. And this one Christmas, I can remember, she was working domestics at, I think it was Macy's, maybe? But anyway, and it was like, we all got towels that year for Christmas, I remember. But anyway, towels and sheets, because she worked, that's domestics, is towels and sheets. And she'd always say, I'm working domestics. She hated it. Anyway, they had those dancing flowers by her that would sing songs. You know what I'm talking about? Those plastic dancing flowers that you could buy. I can literally see my mom standing in the kitchen at her house. So this would have been high school, you know, and, like, making herself a martini. And she would be like, oh, those dancing flowers. She'd be like, they drive me crazy. They literally are all day long. Camera stopped. She's like, they literally drive me crazy. But, you know, like, I don't know that I expected it, but, like, my mom would come home from working, and then on top of that, she would make a meal. And not just like, hey, let's do lean cuisines, okay, but like a meal. Like, I was talking about this with a friend of mine just yesterday. Like, meatloaf, potatoes, carrots, you know, a side salad, bread, or, I mean, and I would complain about what she made, you know, or like chili with, you know, raw apple muffins. And she would sit there and she would cook. She'd come straight home from work and she would cook for an hour and then she would make it, you know, on top of doing the bills, you know, on top of cleaning the house, on top of doing laundry. And, yeah, I remember when I was like 12 or 13 years old, I think 12, and, I wanted, like, first of all, I love to do laundry. It's one of my favorite things to do. It's very peaceful and relaxing to me. And I think it's because I learned so early. I might have been younger than this, but I don't think so. You know, my mom would have, like, a schedule of what she, like, washed, which is strange to me. I don't really know anybody that does laundry like this today. But anyway, my mom it might have been something that she learned from my grandma. She had, like, a schedule of how she would do wash, you know, and she would do, like, whites on Mondays, darks on Tuesdays, you know, sheets and whatever on Wednesdays. But she had, like, a schedule of how she'd do it. So I wanted, like, some pair of jeans or something like that washed. And she was like... And I was, like, complaining about it. And she was like, well, I don't do jeans again until Friday or something like that. And I was like, well, I want them. And she was like, you know, I think this is a good time for you to learn how to do your own wash. And then if you want something washed, you can do it yourself. And, so she showed me how to do wash, and I got real excited. I mean, I thought I was Betty J. Smith in A Tree Grows in Brooklyn. I mean, I was doing laundry and ironing, and I mean, I wanted to set that ironing board up in the kitchen all the time. I must have been a little bit younger than 6th grade, I don't know. But I forever thought, like, let's make, you know, let's make some coffee and put vanilla in it, like A Tree Grows in Brooklyn, because we had read that book. And I just want to sit here and iron. Literally everything I think I owned at that time was iron, from pillow sheets to jeans to underwear, probably. I just loved to iron. I just felt like, you know, I don't know, I was living the Iron Woman's fantasy or something, you know, sitting there just ironing in the kitchen, probably wearing an apron or something. I was always putting on a show. So anyway, drinking a cup of decaf coffee in 6th grade or something, you know, thinking that I was, like, poorly in the Depression, doing laundry, taking in laundry to pay the bills. I always kind of lived these weird fantasies like that. I did, though, you know. So, like, as soon as I learned to, like, wash and do and iron my clothes, my mom would let me do it, you know, if she was there. So I remember this one time I was trying to, like, help her do laundry, and it was around the same time. Now, I've talked about my mother's breast size on here, okay? She wore wire bras when I was growing up. So I washed this wire bra of hers. Oh, she was so furious with me. I thought I was like really helping her out. It was not just like one. I think it was like two and some other stuff, and I like nightgowns. And I washed this wire bra, and then I put it in the dryer, and I'll never forget, she like screamed from like the basement. She's like, oh my God. She brought that wire bra up, and she was like, can I just tell you one thing that really irks me? Is when we talk about saving electricity and saving energy, when you drive back past model home neighborhoods, why does the one model home, there's one, there, I just passed another one, that had TVs and everything on. Why do we have to have every light on in the entire model home? Like, that makes no sense to me whatsoever. But anyway, my mother screamed, and she was like, oh my God, what happened to my bra? And I went downstairs, and that wire bra was all wackadoodle. She was so pissed. She was like, Peter, I really appreciate you trying to help, but don't touch my clothes anymore in the future. She was like, these wire bras, she's like, now I have to go buy new ones. And I was like, oh no, we can fix it, Mom, we can fix it. And she was like, no, there's really no fixing this bra now, don't worry about it. I think back about my mother and wearing those wire bras and how uncomfortable they must have been, you know, like, my mom always talking about how bad her back hurt, and, you know, on top of that, feeling like men were always looking at her breast. And then later getting in life, you know, later in life, she would wear what do you call it, a jogging bra. She thought they were so comfortable. Literally like a jogging bra. That's what, like, my mother, she would love to wear. And she would say, yeah, she's like, and it just gives me one big uniboob, is what she would say. And she was like, and I don't care. She's like, I don't care at all anymore. She's like, I want comfort. She would talk about how, my mother was so open with me about stuff. She would talk about, as I got older, like how uncomfortable it was to sleep at night. She'd say, it's literally so uncomfortable to sleep at night. I think about, like, you know, women, the last time I talked about this on here, somebody said I still wear pantyhose every day. I rarely ever see anybody that wears pantyhose. Like, you know, in the fall and winter, I'll see people that wear tights, or, you know, kind of like fun tights or whatever. But I rarely see, like, women, like, at a wedding or whatever today. I mean, unless they're, like, 70, that wear pantyhose. I mean, I just don't. And the last time I talked about this on here, it's so funny that over there, it, like, looks like it's bright outside, right? But, like, when I turn and look at that way, it doesn't look like that at all. Isn't that's kind of strange, don't you think? But every time I talk about pantyhose on a vlog or in a video or whatever, there are still a lot of women that are like, I wear pantyhose every day. I don't know that I have seen a woman wear pantyhose. I cannot tell you the last time that I saw a woman wear pantyhose. And it's interesting because sometimes, like, where were we at? We were at, like, it was something dressy. I can't remember what it was. Maybe it was that Rev thing. And I was just thinking that it was interesting that we've gotten so far away from, like, you know, wearing, like, really, like, dressy clothes with, like, no, I mean, I remember growing up, like, that was unheard of, that you would wear, like, if you were a woman, dress up and that you wouldn't wear pantyhose. But, like, I don't wear socks with a suit and, like, shoes ever. Like, ever. In the winter or the fall, I would, probably because it's cold, but maybe not even then, I don't know. And nobody ever questions it, you know? I think it was judging the pageant. I was real surprised that the majority of the girls out there, like, at a pageant even, you know, like, none of them had, and maybe they wouldn't, I don't know. When did that change? Like, I have to say, I'm not a lover of pantyhose. I'm just not. I think they look very fake. They're, like, twisted around, they're not fitting right, and they got holes in them and stuff like that. And I'm sure they're uncomfortable as all get out. My mother must have always worn them, though, like, for, not always, but I can remember her later in life, like, when she would wear pants, like, to church and stuff, and she would say she had knee-highs on and they were driving her crazy. You guys are probably like, those are probably some conversations in the car on the way to church. My mom and I every Sunday on the way home from church, we would stop at Roslyn Bakery and she would let me get any kind of donuts that I wanted. And then later in life, she read an article and it said that if you eat a donut a day, you gain like 10 pounds or 20 pounds over the course of a year. Like, well, you're the one that set me up wanting donuts. I love donuts to this day. In Anderson, Indiana, where the casino is, there's this I cannot believe I'm about to share this, but anyway, there's this little donut shop there, and it's called Deluxe Donuts, and it's open 24 hours. Okay, I mean, it literally is like an old school 1950s donut shop. You like walk in, all the donuts are there, okay? And it's just like booths, and they have like sausage and biscuits and gravy. Oh my God, I was talking to somebody the other day, and there's a restaurant here in town. This was at Alex's birthday. Jason, that passed away, his ex-girlfriend, she's vegan, and she was telling me about this restaurant that she goes to in Indianapolis, and they have vegan biscuits and gravy. I was like, I want to go so bad. But so anyway, what was I gonna say? Oh, this donut shop in Anderson, Indiana. If you've never been, you need to go, and it's called Deluxe Donuts, and the donuts are literally like less than $1 a donut, and they're ginormous. And I have actually driven up there before while I'm listening to an audiobook. I've driven the 30-40 minutes to Anderson just to get a donut at the Deluxe Donuts and turn around and come back just to listen to my audiobook, because I love to listen to audiobook, and then I can have a deluxe donut. And the girl that works in there during the middle of the night is so sweet too. And there's always the same guy, and he's sitting there eating sausage biscuits and gravy. And, you know, I have not had that since I became a vegetarian. It has been almost 2 years now since I've gone to Bob Evans. Do you guys remember how much I used to talk about Bob Evans back in the day? I haven't been to the Chinese buffet either in 2 years. It's weird how things like that change and you don't even think about it, you know? I was like, I wonder what it would be like to like not be a vegetarian for a month and then go back to being a vegetarian. But I don't know that I would even really care. The thing is, okay, last time, the struggles that I had, like coming off of it, I don't think would be the same struggles. Like, I think I could probably eat like a Whopper. Or like a, you know, I don't know. But when I think now about eating meat, like when we went to Ocean Prime for Valentine's Day, like a steak sounded really good. But when I think now about like eating a steak or like eating red meat, like it kind of makes my stomach turn a little bit. Like, I think, like, I could probably eat chicken fingers, but I don't know that I could get past, I don't know that I could do chicken salad and stuff like that. I mean, even kind of talking about it right now, you guys, is kind of making me a little sick. It's interesting. This is something that's just happened recently to me in the last couple weeks, and I think that it's almost like being that I'm coming up on 2 years, I've thought a lot about, like, do I want to continue to be a vegetarian? Like, you know, it hasn't really been that tough for me, and like I said, I'm not a healthy vegetarian, I know that, right? But it really hasn't been that difficult. Like, I was talking to Alex's friend Sarah, because she's been trying to be a vegan, but like she constantly eats, like, she'll be like, oh, I had chicken wings or whatever, and she's like, it's so hard in Indiana to be a vegan. Like, when I was in California, it wasn't hard. I'm like, Sarah, it's really not that hard to be a vegan in Indianapolis. Like, I mean, if I wanted to move from being a vegetarian to a vegan, I think it would be pretty easy. And honestly, one of the reasons that I'm not is because of wearing leather, and I'm not gonna be a hypocrite about it. I'm just not. But I mean, other than that, well, cheese and dairy products, I don't know that I could give that up right now either. I mean, I could give them up. I know that I could, but I'm choosing not to right now. But I haven't had that hard of a time being vegetarian, but I don't know. Like, if I consciously decided to go back to eating meat, where were we when I was thinking, like, something sounded really good? Well, I've never eaten fish, like, ever. Even, like, long before I was a vegetarian. When I was a kid, I hated fish. I've never liked fish. I don't eat fish. So, the only fish I've ever eaten, which I guess this is fish, is, like, shrimp sometimes in, like, Japanese food or, you know, whatever, Chinese food. Like, fried rice. And I've eaten, like, crab meat Rankin. But other than that, I don't eat fish. Oh, tuna fish salad sandwiches when I was a kid. I used to love tuna fish salad sandwiches. And I used to get them at Subway, too, but that ship sailed a couple years ago. Do you ever just have, like, something, like, one time and you're like, I can't do this again? I used to love, my mother used to make the most fantastic tuna fish salad sandwiches, and I think they weren't real fishy, which is why I loved them. And, oh, back in the day, like when I was dieting, I could eat tuna fish out of the can. I didn't have a problem with that, but I can't do that anymore. I don't know how long ago it was. It was obviously like before I was a vegetarian, but it was probably like a year or two before. I loved tuna fish sandwiches from Subway, and I went and I got one, and I couldn't do it. I just was like, I can't do this. Like, and ever since that point, I just was like, I think I'm done with tuna fish. So yeah, I guess I did eat fish, tuna fish, but, like, to cook a fish and eat it, I never. I can't even think about it. And that's kind of where I'm at with red meat and chicken right now. Like, it's weird. Like, I think I could do sausage. Like, I think I could do sausage links or sausage patties. And I don't think that would bother me, which is really strange because, like, as an animal, like, I've always wanted to, like, own, like, a little pig. I think something in my head doesn't see that as meat the way that I see red meat or chicken as meat, if that makes sense. I don't know. But I don't think that I could go back to what I was doing before. I don't think I could. I don't know. I'm not saying that I'm a vegetarian for life, but I have to say recently, for the first time, I'm leaning that way. You know? What I ideally would like to do, Alex and I were talking about maybe getting back on program, because I've been off of my Optavia program for weeks now. And he was like, you know, what do we need to do to get you back on it? Like, what support do you need from me and things like that? And I was like, I just made too many excuses. First it was your birthday, then it was my birthday, it was Mother's Day. It's just been excuse after excuse. It's where my food addiction comes in. And I said, I know what I need to do, and I'm ready to get back on it. And the truth is that I feel better when I'm on it. I've maintained my weight loss, which is really weird to me. I have no idea. Like, I've gained probably like 2 or 3 pounds back, but I've maintained my weight loss. I really honestly have no idea how. Close to my weight loss. Like, usually, like, I lose the weight and then I gain it right back that didn't happen this time. I don't know why. But physically, I felt better when I was on it. I felt fantastic on it, and I have all the food sitting there. I actually stopped my next order, because I was like, I'm not going to order all this food when I have all of my past food sitting in the closet, and then I'm going to have twice as much food as I need. So you can, like, stop your order and reschedule it, and I did that. And since I haven't talked about it on here in a while, and people always are asking about it, why I'm not doing it, I'm not ashamed to talk about it and say that I've been off of it. It's been a conscious decision, and I'm not done with it. I am going to get back on it. My plan would be, ideally, to continue to lose the weight that I'm on Optavia, and then to transition over. You know, I would like to get up in the morning and have, like, yogurt and, like, whole granola cereal, you know, that, like, is from, like, a farmer's market, or that you get from, like, do you know what I mean? Like, really good granola with, like, almond butter or honey on it and berries. Like, I love to eat that for, like, breakfast. You know, and then for lunch, to have, like, an arugula salad, which I now like and I didn't before, you know? And, you know, just something like that. And then for dinner, to, you know, have, like, I don't know, like an Impossible Burger patty, or, you know, some bigger salad or something like that. The idea of eating all fresh and clean like that, to me, you know, on top of being a vegetarian, is really enticing. But then put the food in front of me, and I'd rather have like Oreos that somebody sent me earlier today, or, do you know what I mean? Like a bag of chips, or just, like, that's the food addiction part that I struggle with so hard. But, like, you know, when I see, like, if you ever get on Instagram and you see these pictures that people post, and it's like this amazing breakfast, it's like whenever I eat that way, you know, whenever I make like a fruit smoothie, and then I make like granola and put honey on it and have blueberries and stuff, like, it's delicious. Like, I love it, right? And I feel better when I eat that way, you know? Somebody was asking me the other day, they're like, how do you drink that almond and rice milk? It's horrible, blah, 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 blah. Listen, you go into like Whole Foods, I'm not saying it's not more expensive, I know that it is, but it's not a whole lot more expensive. But, you know, when you go in there and they now have 10 different kinds of almond milk, you know, that have vanilla, original, low cal, not low cal. You know, you have so many different kinds that you can get whatever you want. It's kind of fun to try the different stuff. And you feel healthier eating all that. I do. I felt healthier eating that stuff. But I didn't lose weight, because a lot of that stuff is like high in calorie, high in fat. I mean, when you're eating a bowl of granola with almond butter, honey, you know, I mean, that's a lot of calories. Like, that's literally like, can be like 1,000 calories, honestly. So, and people are like, yeah, but that doesn't really matter when you're eating healthier. Well, I put on pounds when I put on calories. I do, personally. So, it is so weird to me that it is like, it looks like so bright out there. Look. Well, you can't even see it. I mean, it's still like dark. I don't know why it shows up like that in the, on the camera. That's so bizarre to me. It looks like it's like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It's like still like dark. Like, you can't see the sun or anything out there. It's so crazy to me that on camera it shows something different. But anyway, listen, I'm gonna get off here. This went a lot longer than I thought I was going to. I say that every day, don't I? I say this is gonna be a short vlog today, that it ends up being long. But I'm gonna get off here and I'm gonna listen to a little bit of my audiobook on my way home. And go back to sleep for just a little bit, and yeah. So anyway, I hope you guys are having a, why did that person just flash their lights at me when I have my lights on? I hope you are having a fantastic, I hope you're having an amazing, fantastic, amazing Tuesday, unless you have other plans. And, yeah, that guy was running down the street barefoot, but like he had like running stuff on. I must have not seen that correctly. He had like those flashing lights, like a jogger on, but it looked like he was jogging barefoot. Maybe I'm going crazy. Anyway, I hope you're having an amazing Tuesday, unless you have other plans, and if nobody else has told you this today, I love you. Bye. I didn't finish it the way that I always do. I knew something felt off. Okay. I hope you guys are having an amazing Tuesday, unless you have other plans. But don't. Have a wonderful day today. Have an amazing, fantastic day. And if nobody else has told you this today, I love you. Look in the mirror. Tell yourself. Believe it. And most importantly, pass it on to somebody else. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye. Love ya.